Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. CNBC-TV18 and DB Schenker present Talking Transport.
Hi everyone and welcome to Talking Transport presented by DB Schenker and CNBC-TV18. I'm Karunya Rao, and before I introduce and bring on board our guest for today, there's something I want you all to see. The India journey of DB Schenker, which is a leading integrated logistics provider of the world and Europe's largest trucking operator.
India's vibrant and diverse history is proof that for us, unity in diversity is not just a philosophy, but a way of life. A way that comments through this vast geography and landscape, creating endless business opportunities in its trail. To transform these opportunities into successful business stories, a skillful logistics enabler on local and global scale, ensuring connectivity is needed. With over 25 years of experience in the Indian market, DB Schenker in India, the world's leading supply chain company, is serving one of the world's largest growing economy, providing scale, network and efficiency while delivering best-in-class service, along with a wide LTL network to serve dynamic customer requirements. Trained professionals handling on-ground operations guarantee advanced safety measures and hybrid packing solutions. The company has also developed an integrated supply chain solutions in Hyderabad to provide time-definite and temperature-controlled solutions. Digitalization is driving global logistics. At DB Schenker in India, our vision is to provide digital enablement of services across the end-to-end supply chain for futuristic business. To provide the services of tomorrow to the businesses of today. To keep them updated, upgraded, and on schedule. The future is here in India.
Let's understand a bit more in detail about what DB Schenker has been up to, not only in India but also abroad. The vision, the company's goals and initiatives for the future. Let's welcome in my guest on the show, Mr. Christian Drenthen, a member of the management board at DB Schenker. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
It's DB Schenker's 150th year since its existence in 2022. Let's talk about what lies ahead. What are the big initiatives, perhaps, that are making you excited about the future of the company and which could also have an impact globally?
Absolutely. I think 150 years by itself is exciting. There's very few companies that reach that milestone. And of course, it's in our interest to go on for another 150 years and more. I would say we just last week closed a very important acquisition for the company in the US, a US trucking company called USA Truck. And of course, integrating that into the family and welcoming the new employees is extremely exciting. It also complements our portfolio in the US and it allows us to expand our business substantially. I think our focus on sustainability and the importance of it and our targets that we set ourselves to be carbon neutral by 2040 are very important. It leads to interesting developments, electrification of our fleet. I've seen it yesterday firsthand here in India as well. So those are exciting developments because it's about the future of our children, next generation, and making sure that they have a wonderful future that we have experienced, of course, so far. And I think third and foremost also is the digital developments that we're seeing that enhance the customer experience, especially because at the end of the day, we're a service provider that depends highly on the promises that we deliver, that we keep them, and that the customers experience something that is exceptional.
Right. You know, you've been maintaining this leadership position for many, many years now. Talk to us about how you've achieved and are sustaining it across your different ambitions, whether it's markets, customers, or sustainability.
I think it all starts with the customer. So the customer needs to experience a great experience, an exceptional experience. And that comes down to our employees, first and foremost, that they're well trained, that they're excited about working for a great company and serving the customers. And of course, at the end, it comes down to products that provide solutions for customers and reliability.
Sustainability, I want to just, bring you back to that point. It's been at the core of everything that the company is doing, its vision, its philosophy. How do your global partnerships and logistics forums empower it? How have you been sort of bringing it all together?
Yeah, we use the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17. And with that, it sets the framework for us to focus on. So if we look at sustainability in terms of our target to be carbon neutral by 2040, we have in all areas of our business activities, whether that is electrification of our fleet. We just did an order for 1,500 electric vehicles in our European land business for the next 3 years, whether that is the sustainable air fuel that we use together with Lufthansa on a flight from Frankfurt to Shanghai, whether that is activities in terms of our warehouses with solar panels to be electric sufficient and self-supporting. All these aim at making sure that we're a sustainable company. And then, of course, in all the other activities, whether it comes to driver health, very good experience here in India, where together with an NGO, we have invested into driver health, especially in relation to tuberculosis, HIV, but also previously COVID, to make them aware, to allow them for testing, and if found that they need support, to support them as well. So many things going on. We have a framework that is well accepted, and we follow that to make sure that our business stays sustainable, stays relevant for the future.
Okay. Keeping it with the UN SDGs, you've really set for yourself very aggressive targets, whether it's new renewables, low carbon logistics, distribution centers, e-mobility fleets also I'm looking at. So are you on track to meet your goals by 2040, or could that happen way before that?
Well, let me put it this way. We're tracking very well on that target, maybe in some areas ahead of that target. But of course, the further you come down the line, the more challenging it becomes. So I'm pretty comfortable with the targets of 2040. I think it would be a bit early to start to already move them forward, even though you might be ahead of the targets that you set for yourself for the years in between.
How have you ingrained this philosophy within your own ecosystem, your employees? And is this, the whole goal and vision for sustainability that you have, is it part of the larger CSR program?
So I think the sustainability's got many elements. So the electrification, the decarbonization, etc., is one. Investing into communities, into drivers, like is done here in India, and I referred to earlier, all of those initiatives are also supported often locally. So what we do for drivers in India is something that could be best practice to explore in other countries. There's other initiatives, and looking at the 150 years at the moment, looking at our employee health, we've basically got a campaign going to support NGOs where people can exercise, whether that is running, whether that is hiking, whether that is dancing, anything that they do that creates physical movement that is good for their health, gets supported by generating a number of kilometers that we then financially support, and we match up with NGOs. We have 4 products: land, air, ocean, and contract logistics. And each quarter, any of these products are linked to an NGO. So the first quarter, it was land transport linked to We Forest. And basically, we generated through these activities that all our employees did about 300,000 in funding for the NGO We Forest, which was then used for forestation in 2 particular countries, one in Africa and one in South America, that then is followed up on and is basically generating internally also excitement by our employees. And that we do every quarter.
I want to steer away from this and also talk about what's happening in the business side, on the innovation side. Now, your investment in digital technologies has been groundbreaking. It's a model in itself for others to look at. How are you constantly innovating in this space and sustaining sort of your leadership in it?
So we have great developers, we have great data analysts, and we've developed over time digital tools where the first step that you do is you look at does it make it easier for the customer? So we have Connect 4, which basically allows customers to find tariffs for products, to book them online, to track and trace them online, to get their proof of delivery online, and to get their invoice online. The thing with that is they can do it 24/7 because they're interacting with our digital platform, which is very easy for customers to do. They can do it any time of the day. What it also does is, as the customers are entering the data, it makes the process much more seamless. There's no errors in the process because it goes one-on-one into our system, where previously customers could call. We would take through the telephone the order. You might not have heard the address correctly or the number correctly, so it creates waste in the system. So these digital developments support, first of all, the customer experience, but secondly of all, it makes the overall experience a lot less wasteful, a lot more efficient.
Even digital innovations have been, at the forefront of what you guys are doing, whether it's Digital Pod, eSchenker, Connect 4.0. So talk to us about what's happening there in that domain.
So those allow us to create an ever better customer experience. That's the starting point of everything we do in each of these developments. With that, we first and foremost make sure that the existing customers are excited, see new developments, but also that we can attract new customers and stay relevant for growth into the future. The other part is making the processes internally more efficient, which is also important. And everything that is done in these developments basically lead to that ease of use for customers and making it more efficient, less error, or more error-free at the same time.
I want to also flag off some of the initiatives and inventions you've done in the logistics core space. I'm looking at Schenker Ventures, startup collaborations, Enterprise Lab. How is that going to sort of change the face of what logistics is today?
So I think Enterprise Lab allows us to partner with innovative, whether that is universities or other partners, to look at the next developments in the industry. Whether that is what is happening in the metaverse that allows us to basically have customers look at warehouses remotely, at warehouses of the future. So it is basically both what we do internally as well as with experts in the industry. Schenker Ventures allows us to tap into early innovations that are close to the logistics industry, to be at the forefront of new developments as well. So the combination of the two allows us to stay very much in the forefront of any developments that are relevant for the future of logistics, our customers, and of course our company.
Well, this is all very interesting. I'm going to take a short break at this juncture. We'll be back very soon and discuss DB Schenker's initiatives and plans for India.
CNBC-TV18 and DB Schenker present Talking Transport.
Welcome back. You're watching Talking Transport, presented by DB Schenker and CNBC-TV18. We're in conversation with the management of the company, and I'm going to now ask you about what's happening in India here. You've been here for 25 years now. How's the journey been so far?
Exciting. And I think it only gets more exciting. If you look at the development in India, that is very positive. I think your demographics are incredibly positive. So we're very buoyant about the potential that exists in India. And if an economy grows, what it always needs is physical movements. And that is where we come in. So I'm very excited about it.
But are there any challenges here compared to what you've seen in Europe or other markets that you operate in?
Infrastructure-wise, I think there's certainly pockets in the country that could be improved. And when your infrastructure improves, your logistics improve, and that normally benefits the economy as well. So for me, that would be one area that definitely would support the economy through providing more efficient logistics.
All right. But let's talk about some of your USPs in India. There's white glove deliveries, cross-border trucking, hybrid packaging. All of these are very unique offerings. So how difficult or easy has it been executing them here?
I think these things always come with experts. So they're never easy. If they were easy, everybody could do it. The investments that were made by the leadership team in land transport, here in India has been tremendous, both in terms of the skills of people as well as the solutions. And when you look at some of them, and let's take white glove deliveries, that is an absolute unique feature that we provide, where it is not something that you can get into if you don't have the experience. So for us, that is a unique niche that we're exploring. The fact that we're investing into cross-dock and LTL networks is something where we see a great future for the company, especially when you provide a great customer experience. So we're pretty buoyant about that, and our land transport product is showing that it's the right way to invest as well. If I look at the compound annual growth that we've achieved over the last couple of years, which is well above 35%.
So are you looking at launching any such more USPs here?
I think the team is continuously looking at that, and not only themselves, but also looking at partnerships to make our products and product portfolio even more attractive to customers. So it's an ongoing process, and we will, where it creates value for the customer, definitely invest in that to differentiate us and ourselves in the market.
What about LTL growth? Is there a strategy to expand that?
Absolutely. I think we're already in 25 cities with regular daily services. We're looking into investing into tier 2, tier 3 cities to accommodate services for small, medium-sized enterprises, to make sure that it's easy for them to ship, not only across India, but also internationally.
How are you reading into the Indian EV landscape right now? And are you doing any innovations in this space in India?
We've just launched a couple of EV vehicles and are obviously, as per the global initiative, wanting to expand on that. That is highly driven on the availability of vehicles. So far, it is the three-wheel vehicles, but obviously we want to get into the bigger sizes as well. When they become available, for sure the company will be at the forefront of investing there.
What about land transport? How do you see that area sort of shaping up and your role in it?
I think land transport will provide a very important role in the logistics development of India, also in the ease of trade for India. With the growth that India is going through, land transport will play a key role. We're investing there. We're investing into our LTL cross-dock capabilities, which allow pan-India coverage. We're growing that fast, which basically means customers and new customers recognize that the value that we put on the road, the experience that we provide them. So we're very excited about it. We're very buoyant about it.
You know, when we talk about land transport, we have to talk about our heroes, the truck drivers. So how are you engaging with them, and not only in India, but globally as well, if you could share some details?
Sure. I think drivers and driver shortage across the world is becoming a big topic. So making sure that we work for them, that we provide them a safe environment, as well as an environment where they can operate seamlessly, be recognized for the work that they do, is extremely important. I think here in India, the great example that I referred to earlier, where we partner with an NGO and look after the health of drivers. So over the last 12 months, 45,000 drivers went through the testing, the evaluation, and some of them really needed support, and the ongoing support that we provide there is extremely important.
Since logistics is all about providing end-to-end solutions, what are you doing in the tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns of the country? Is there any strategy in place to grow your penetration, grow your expansion there?
Absolutely. I think we're focusing on growth, especially in small, medium-sized accounts. You find a lot of them in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So when it comes to our product offer, expanding our LTL network, our cross-docking presence in those cities, that is a priority for us. That is what we look at. That can be done by ourselves. It can be done through partnerships. Also the same with regard to our warehouses, where we offer space to customers. Similarly, we focus on the tier 2, tier 3 cities. With that, we also offer opportunities immediately for our air freight and ocean freight customers.
Okay, but are there any acquisitions that are brewing, or you're in talks with anybody right now to inorganically grow?
So the leadership team is evaluating these continuously and looking at the development of India as a country, looking at the potential for the future. It is certainly something we're interested in. And when the time is right, when what these companies provide and or offer us additionally in terms of driving customer experience, we will certainly look at them favorably.
Since we're talking about acquisitions, can you share with us some details about the recent USA Trucks acquisition?
Absolutely, a very exciting development for the company. So USA Truck is a full truckload operator in the US. They own about 2,000 trucks and drivers. They have a first-class customer portfolio, and it allows us to basically cover the US through land transport operation and complement our product portfolio of air, ocean, and contract logistics that is already well established. We're very excited about that because our customers that we have today, we're by and large looking also for options that so far we could only offer very limited with what we had there. So a very exciting opportunity, a very exciting development for the company.
You know, when I look at initiatives like Golden Truck Tour in Europe or, you know, even in the US, there's been a masterclass in visibility and growth through visibility. And you have done something similar in India as well. Why don't you tell our viewers about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it every time I talk about it. Just the color itself, gold represents number one, doesn't it? It embodies what our target is, what we aim for, where we are in some cases already. That is quality leader, leader in customer experience, leader in the market. So if I look at the European market, we're definitely a leader. If I look at the Indian market, we're up and coming and looking at how they develop, I'm pretty sure we will be a leader in the not too distant future. Besides the fact that it's a real cool color and very visible as well, which creates pride in our people. And our customers are excited about it. They want to see the truck on their yard. So it's a great branding. It's a great visibility. So yeah, really excited.
Well, it's very exciting to know that on your silver jubilee here, you're eyeing gold, and you know that's where the company's vision is, and that's what you guys are doing. So all the very best for that, and thank you so much once again for joining in.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
CNBC-TV18 and DB Schenker present Talking Transport. Focus.